chose to fight. Trying to see what it's like, take me, so I roll the dice. Look up to no one else, but yeah, I was shy. I got real power, Hebrew Israelite.
Chapter 18 and verse 4. No. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath, and persuaded the Jews and the Greeks. And when Silas and Timothy were come from Macedonia,
read that again from the top. Verse 4.
Verse 4. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath and persuaded the Jews and the Greeks.
Right, and that's plain. So we coming out here, right, every Sabbath to persuade the Jews, the Israelites, right, and the Greeks. A lot of people that don't know that they Israel, that's falling away for their heritage, their nationality, and we coming back and we here to wake up and rise up the 12 tribes. Bring this out.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 10 and verse 10. Right. Also in the day of your gladness, and in your solemn days, and in the beginnings of your months, ye shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your God.
Right, hey, and guess what? Hey, and this is the new moon. Right, again, another month. Right, we praise the Most High and we thank the Most High for him allowing us to come out here and to see another month. Right, give me the book of Isaiah 58 and verse 1 and start at verse 5 on that. Keep on this.
Verse 5.
Verse 5 and number
4. Verse 5. Verse 5. When ye blow in alarm, then the camps that lie on the east parts shall go forward.
Right, and that's what we're out here doing. We blowing that alarm. Right, that spiritual alarm. Right, that shofar. Hey, brother, you got 2 minutes to learn something? Check it out, 2 seconds. That's all we ask. 2 seconds to learn something new. About your heritage.
Take what you can.
Take 2 minutes, brother.
2 minutes.
All right, read that again.
All right. When ye blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east parts shall go forward.
Yeah. You got 1 minute, brother? That's all we ask is 1 minute for the Lord. All right, read.
When ye blow an alarm the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey. They shall blow an alarm for their journeys. But when the congregation is to be gathered together, ye shall blow, but ye shall not sound an alarm. Right. And the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall blow with the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever.
Right, and give me Joshua 6 and 6. Right, so the Lord, he's going into the trumpets, the different sounds. Right, when you blow this sound, and make sure this sound rise up. Right, you blow that sound, make that sound rise up. Right, again, because we are in spiritual warfare. Right, before you go out to war, you do what? You blow the shofar. Right, and that's what we're doing now. We out on the highways and byways, right, and we blowing that shofar. Right, we blowing out the words of the Lord to let them know that all hell, death, destruction, woe is coming to his place. Right, but not just to Babylon. Right, not just to Europe. Right, not just to Russia or Ukraine. No, this thing is going out throughout the whole 4 corners of the earth. Right, read.
And they shall be to you for an ordinance forever throughout your generations. And if ye go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresseth you, then ye shall blow an alarm with the trumpets, and ye shall be remembered before the Lord your God.
Right, and that's plan A. And we going to war with our enemies right now. Hey, brother, check it out. 2 seconds. That's all we ask. 2 seconds. Look at the sound real quick. That's all we ask. I got the flyer. You got it already? All right, cool. All praise. Right, and again, that's what we out here doing. We blowing that alarm, and we letting our people know, hey, it's go time. Right. It's time to get up, time to get your stretches in, hey, because the Lord is on his way. Right, the Lord is coming back as a fierce man of war to execute vengeance upon the heathen. Right, read this.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 6 and verse 6. Yo. And Joshua, the son of Nun,
started verse 4.
Verse 4. And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets. 7 what? 7 trumpets.
That again?
7 trumpets.
And 7 trumpets. Right, again, because trumpets are spiritual. Right, like I just said, you got it's like we are blowing up the trumpets on a spiritual level. Right, waking our people up. Hey, brother, check it out. 2 seconds. You see yourself in the sound? Look right on the sound. You check it out. 2 seconds. All right, read on.
7 trumpets of rams and rams' horns. And the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times. And the priests shall blow with the trumpets.
Right, and he said, blow that trumpet up, and we're going to compass the city 7 times. Right, now go back to that in Isaiah 58.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, and verse 1. Yo. Cry aloud.
Do what?
Cry aloud.
Read that again.
Cry aloud.
I said, cry aloud. Read.
Spare not. Right. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet.
Be quiet.
Lift up thy voice like a trumpet. Whisper. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet.
Lord said, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. Right, just like our forefathers. Right, our forefathers was loud, mighty men. Hey, our forefathers wasn't just in the back, in the cut, talking about, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know, this place is falling. You know, they whisper. Nah, he said, cry aloud. Hey, brother, with the PK. 2 minutes, check it out. Right, and the Lord said, cry aloud, lift up, spare not. Right, that's why we got the microphone, got the loud readers, got the brothers chiming in. Why? Because we wanted our people. Right, now read this. Like, read that in Revelation.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 1.
No.
And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth.
Doing what?
Holding the 4 winds of the earth.
Right, and that's what the angels doing, right? They send back, they waiting for the Lord to get that green light, and they holding back the 4 winds. Right, what is that 4 winds? That's the destruction that's gonna blow upon the earth. Right, give me Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 6. Right, those 4 winds, those mighty winds, 40 and verse 6. Right, those winds are gonna blow upon the earth, and it's gonna wither away the grass. Who's grass? The man. Right, read this.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 40 and verse 6.
Right, and again, because when these trumpets start to sound, hey, that's when all hell gonna start breaking loose. Right, after the seals is over with, trumpets start kicking in, hey, that's how you know we in the end. Hey, y'all got 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. All right, read this.
The voice said, cry. And he said, what shall I cry?
Right.
All flesh is grass,
Right.
and all the godliness thereof is as the flower of the field.
Right.
The grass withereth, the flower fadeth.
Right, he said the glass withereth, the flower fadeth. Right, that's going in the man. All right, read on.
Because the Spirit of the Lord,
Because the what?
because the Spirit of the Lord,
Read that one more time.
because the Spirit of the Lord
Because the Spirit of the Lord, right, read.
bloweth upon it.
Right, and that's plain, right? The Spirit of the Lord is going to blow upon this grass, and what? And man is going to wither away like the grass of the field. Right, now read this, what I had you hold. Back in Revelation.
Revelation chapter 7 and verse 1.
No.
And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth,
Right.
holding the 4 winds of the earth,
Right.
that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree.
Right.
And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea,
Heard not the earth, neither the sea, read.
nor the trees,
Right.
till we have sealed the servants of our God.
To have what?
Till we have sealed the servants of our God.
It said to have sealed the servants of our God. Right, Revelation 9 and 6. Right, so again, we out here warning our people. Right, we out here blowing up the blowing up the horn, blowing up the spiritual warning, right, physical warning to a lot of people know, hey, the Lord coming back. Right, give me 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse number 3. Right, we out here to warn our people. Right, get them ready that what? That the Lord is coming back. He on his way.
Right.
The destroyer of the Gentiles, and he's not far. Right, read this.
This book of Revelation, chapter 9 and verse 6.
Right.
And in those days shall man seek death, and shall not find it,
Right.
and shall desire to die,
Right.
and death shall flee from them.
Right.
And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle.
Right.
And on their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men.
Right.
And they had hair as the hair of women,
Right.
and their teeth were as the teeth of lions.
Right.
And they had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron. And the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. And they had tails like unto scorpions. And they were they were stings in their tails. And their power was to hurt man 5 months.
To do what?
And their power was to hurt man 5 months. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue.
And that's it on that, right? Give me what how you hold 2nd Ezra 9. Yeah, read this out.
It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9 and verse 3.
No.
Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world,
Right.
then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee.
Right, and that's plain. Give me 1 Samuel chapter 9 and verse number 9. Right, so the Lord, he already spoke of these things that's in the end that was coming to pass. Right, from the book of Genesis, right, all the way to the book of Joshua, right, all the way to the book of 1st and 2nd Kings. The Lord, he always spoke of these things. The Lord, he always spoke of the end, and guess what is coming to pass? Right, read on.
Even from the beginning. Verse 5.
Right.
For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end.
Right, so everything that's made, it has a beginning and an end. Right, babies that have a beginning, they grow up, and people die, it has an end. The tree, they go from seeds, that's the beginning. Right, it grow up to a strong tree, then the tree end up withering away. That's the end. So from everything from the least to the greatest has a beginning and an end. Okay? You got the Roman Empire, right? The Greek Empire, the Babylonians, right? You got the Achaemenid Empire. All these things had a beginning and an end. And just like Babylon the Great, right? Babylon the Great came in 1492, destroyed the so-called Native Americans, the Northern Kingdom, brought us over here 1619, and that's their beginning. Right? They boast on that. 1776, they Independence Day, and that's their beginning. But what?
And the end is manifest.
You know what?
And the end is manifest.
Right, hey, but Babylon the Great end is manifest. Right, this place don't got too much longer. Right, and it's high time for the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to wake up, come back to your God, come back and learn who you are according to the words of the Lord, right, and put away all these false philosophies. Right, put away black, right, put away spick, put away African American. Right, hey brother, real quick, I need 2 minutes of your time, just real quick. I gotta know your nationality according to the Bible, brother. Right, read.
Verse 6. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonders, in powerful works, in endings, in effects and signs.
Right, it's an endings and effects and signs. Right, read this.
It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 9 and verse 9. Before a time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of God.
So even before Israel was a nation, people that wanted to know about the Lord, you know what I'm saying? Well, how you know this about to come to pass? Or what's this prophecy? This 400 years, what's that going into? Right, read. So before Israel was even the people, when all the prophets came out of Israel, and what the Lord had. Right, read on.
Thus he spake, come and let us go to the seer.
To the who?
To the seer. For he that is now called a prophet,
Or what?
for he that is now called a prophet.
Right, so back in the ancient world, right, on the earthly, back in the ancient world, right, the seers were called, the prophets were called seers. Right, then when Israel came, and that's when the Lord, he set up prophets within Israel. Right, but before that, when it was Moses, before Moses in the book of Genesis, etc., hey, they didn't have Samuel or the Israelites to go to inquire of the Lord. No, they had seers, the men that the Lord had already set up to foretell the future through the Spirit. Right, read on.
Was before time called a seer. Then said Saul to his servant, well said, come, let us go. So they went unto
Right, and let's hit on that. Right, give me Joel chapter 2 and verse 31. Because again, the Lord, he has all these signs lined up on how you know that it's the end. Right, and it's time to watch and to look out for these signs. Right, because again, we in the last days. Hey, sister, you got 2 minutes? 2 minutes, learn something about the Lord? I read this.
It's the book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness.
Hey, brother, you got 2 minutes, learn something? Hey, brother, check it out, 2 seconds. It's like 2 minutes, brother. I read.
The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and the terrible day of the Lord come.
Right, so one of the signs is going to be the signs in the heavens. Right, you got the moon, it's going to be turning into what? Into blood moons. Right, there has been a high amount of blood moons in the last days. Right, you had the nation do a nationwide fast, and the next day was a blood moon. Yeah, one time, it was blood moons back to back to back for almost a week straight. Right. So the Lord said, when you see these times, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that's letting you know that what? He's on his way. That's letting you know that we're in the last days. And again, it's high time to awake out of sleep. Right, read on.
Verse 32. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion,
Or where?
for in Mount Zion,
Everybody.
for in Mount Zion,
Or Mount Zion, right? For in Israel, read on.
and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call.
Right, and that's plain in the remnant of whom the Lord shall call. Right, and again, the Lord is out here on the highways and hedges doing what? Crying out to our people. Right, we out here fishing, right, making sure we catch the right fish. We throwing the net, right, on the south side, throwing the net on the north side. Hey, and we trying to build, and we trying to reel in Israel, right, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Right, give me Jeremiah 16:16. Right, because right now, you know, right now it's fishing season. Right, and again, it's that time to bid Israel back. Right, it's not the time to go into, you know what I'm saying, all, you know, it's like the book of Enoch, right, all these false philosophies, etc. No, now is the time is to put away all the false philosophies, come back to the Lord, to magnify and glorify His holy name, and to wake our people up. Right. I read this.
This book of Jeremiah, chapter 16 and verse 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them.
They shall what?
And they shall fish them.
Season it.
And they shall fish them.
So right now, this is fishing season again. Right, the Lord, He sent us out to go and cast the net and to reel our people in. Right, read on.
And after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain.
They shall what?
And they shall hunt them from every mountain, and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks. For my eyes are upon all their ways.
Right, and that's it on that. But again, the point is that it's fishing season. Right, and against high time for Israel to wake out of sleep. Right, bring this out in Matthew the 2nd chapter.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 2 and verse 20.
Go!
Saying, arise and take the young child and his mother and go into the land of Israel, for they are dead which sought the young child's life. And he arose and took the young child and his mother and
Let's get Matthew 24. Or you can drop that. Right, Matthew chapter 24 and verse number 7.
it's the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 7.
Go!
For nation shall rise against nation.
As a matter of fact, start at verse 1.
Verse 1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to shew him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another.
All right, wait, it's like, read the last part again.
There shall not be left here one stone upon another.
The Lord said, and it shall not be left here one stone upon another. Right, so we see all these high rises, all the skyscrapers. And the Lord said, hey, in those last days, it's not going to be here one stone left one upon another. Right, read.
That shall not be thrown down.
Right.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be?
Right, so now the disciples, they coming up to him, they say, hey, yo, Yahushua, I know what you said back then. I mean, can you kind of elaborate on it, you know, etc.
And what shall be the sign of thy coming?
And they say, what shall be the sign of your coming? Right, before you come back, let us know. Hey, brother, you have 2 minutes? Check out 2 seconds. See yourself in the sun? Look. Look. Right here. Issachar, etc.
Venezuelan.
Venezuela.
But yeah, I'm Christian Catholic.
You are?
Yeah.
Now, do you read the word Venezuela in the Bible?
No, I haven't read the whole Bible.
You haven't read the whole Bible? Well, do you know your nationality according to the Bible?
I'm not sure about that.
You're not sure?
Yeah.
Well, brother, well, we up here to give you back your nationality according to the Bible. Real quick, let's get Deuteronomy 28:68. Right, check it out real quick.
Deuteronomy.
It's like, hold that. Now, brother, now, since Venezuelans is not in the Bible, or you don't read about Mexicans or so-called black people, but yet the Lord said he came to save everybody, I mean, how do you know that he's coming to save you when you don't even know your nationality?
Right. I believe in him.
Because what?
I believe in him. I have faith.
I mean, but you can believe and have faith, but faith comes with what? Works. Right? So what's the works that we got to do?
The works.
The works.
Works. W-O-R-K-S. Works.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because faith without works is what dead. That's right. Now the works that we got to have is the keeping of the laws.
Right.
Keep God's commandments. Now God's commandments was given to one nation of people. Let's get Leviticus 26 or verse 46 real quick. Right, God's commandments and laws was given to one nation of people. Now we're about to read about that one nation of people and how great they were. And as we read, you're gonna come to find out that that's your nation. All right, read this. You said 26.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter
How you doing, sister?
6, verse 46. And these are the statutes and judgments
These are the statutes, the judgments. Read on.
and laws
And what?
and laws
One more time.
and laws which the Lord made between him and the children of Israel.
So the Lord, he made laws with him and the children of Israel. Now we're about to read about the children of Israel, right, and the different things that they went through and the different things that they experienced throughout history. And you're going to find out that this lines up with your history.
Right.
All right, let's get Deuteronomy 28 and 15.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15.
No.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses,
All these what?
that all these curses,
That one more time.
that all these curses,
So the Lord said that a certain nation of people are going to have curses put upon them for their disobedience of not keeping the commandments.
Right.
Now we're about to read about these curses and see what nation of people this lines up and fits. All right, read verse 15.
verse 16.
No.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
That again.
Cursed thou shalt be in the city.
So the Lord said, "Cursed shalt thou be in the city." Now, going into y'all cities, etc., would you say that y'all live on the best parts of the cities?
Sorry.
Now, the Venezuelans, right? When y'all go into the cities, do y'all live in the high rises in the best parts of the cities, or in the slums as a whole?
It's a whole. Well, it's.
Are y'all in these buildings, or are y'all out on the blocks, etc., like at the bottom? No, not just y'all, but as a whole, yeah.
It's a 50-50.
50-50?
Yeah, there's a lot of poverty in the country, and there's also a lot of people that live in these type of buildings.
The Venezuelans, you said it's a lot living in these type of buildings?
Not a lot, but.
Would you say it's more in the bottom than at the top?
More in the bottom.
More in the bottom,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's the whole point. Like the Lord said, curse where you're going to be in the cities. Again, at the cities, it's more y'all at the bottom. Now, we're not saying, you know what I'm saying, everybody going to be at the bottom, but as a majority, hey, we're at the bottom. I read that again. It's like yeah,
Cursed thou shalt be in the city, and cursed thou shalt be in the field.
And the Lord said that the Venezuelans will also be cursed in the fields. Now, when you go into the fields back in the history, weren't y'all slaves in the cornfields? We go into the history with the Venezuelans.
Que si éramos esclavos en Venezuela, la historia atrás que si antes los
Well-
venezolanos eran esclavos. Yeah.
Exactly. So the Venezuelans were in the slave fields. Now the Lord said that this is going to happen to one nation of people.
Right.
Let's get verse 32.
Verse 32,
No.
thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Right, so while y'all in slavery, right, y'all sons and y'all daughters got snatched away and given to another people. Now again, who that happened to? The Venezuelans, right back in the slave fields. Right, read on.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Said all the day long that y'all going to slavery, get y'all kids snatched away, and y'all will be longing for your children to get them back.
Right.
Getting your backs beat in, crying out. And again, this thing happened to what? It's like the, what tribe it is? The Venezuelans. To what? Asher? And Zebulon. Con. Flyers. But again, brother, this is your history. Now we're going to see what the Lord called you. Let's get verse 29 and 1. Chapter 29 and 1.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 29 and verse 1. These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses.
So the few things that we read, the Lord's about to name who he's talking to. All right, read.
To make with the children of Israel,
Venezuela.
the children of Israel,
Spanish.
the children of
The
Israel.
Lord said this whole time he was talking to the children of Israel.
Right.
Now, if all these things happened to the children of Israel, but it happened to your people, then by default, what did the Lord call you? Yeah. The children of Israel. That's right, brother. That's right. So that's playing the lowercase, y'all. You said what? No problem. Wait, can I see that real quick? Who's that? That's Revelation 1:14. Jesus Cristo? Well, this is a false image of Jesus Cristo.
Right.
Jesus Cristo negro, no blanco. All right, we're gonna read it. We're gonna read it. Let's read this.
Revelations chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So Jesus Christos had white woolly hair, right? White and woolly. Wool is what? It's a tough texture. All right, this is not woolly hair. Or it's not white. All right, read on.
As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
So Jesus Christos have fiery red eyes. Is this red and fiery? Is this red? That's red? No, this is red. Red eyes. Okay. I understand. Yeah. No problem. You see the fly? Yeah. She looking. Yeah, I was trying to, you know what I'm saying? All right, so brothers gotta get into the time. All right, but let's go back to what we were saying. Matthew 24. 24 and verse 7. Right, again, the Lord said that this is the signs of the times. Right, when you see these things come to pass, hey, that's how you know that the Son of Man is on his way. All right, read this. I'm sorry. That's what we need.
It's the book of Matthew.
Hey, brother, check it out. 2 seconds. You got 2 seconds for the Lord? 2 minutes, brother. All right, read.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming?
Yeah, what shall be the sign of your coming? Right, read.
And of the end of the world.
Of the what?
And of the end of the world.
And of the end of the world. Right, read.
And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ.
And what?
Saying, I am Christ.
Right, so one thing that's going to take place is going to be a mass amount of people saying that they're Christ. Right? It's going to be a mass amount of people saying, you know what? Well, this prophecy in Deuteronomy 28, and I think that kind of pertains.